Before we begin, take a moment and ask yourself this. Have you ever felt deeply connected to someone mentally, emotionally, energetically, and yet somehow it still didn't work? If you are a Gemini, or if you have ever loved one, you already know this feeling is not random. Gemini does not fall in love the way most signs do. Gemini connects through the mind before the heart, through curiosity before commitment, through energy before certainty. And this is where most misunderstandings begin. People often say Gemini is confusing, inconsistent, or hard to love. But what if the truth goes much deeper than that? What if Gemini simply needs a very specific kind of connection, one that very few signs can truly offer? In this video, we are not talking about superficial compatibility. We are not repeating basic astrology cliches or offering generic love advice. We are going deeper into spiritual alignment, energetic resonance, and soul-level connection. Because for Gemini, love is not about possession. It is about stimulation, freedom, understanding, and evolution. Gemini carries duality within. Two perspectives, two voices, two ways of experiencing the world. And unless the right partner understands this dual nature, love can quickly turn into frustration, boredom, or emotional distance. The wrong match will try to silence one side of Gemini. The right match will know how to listen to both. That is why not every zodiac sign can truly walk beside Gemini in love. Some signs feel exciting at first, but fade quickly. Others feel safe, but become suffocating. And only a few are able to meet Gemini where it truly lives, in the space between thought and emotion, logic and intuition, freedom and intimacy. In this deep guide to spiritual astrology, we reveal the 5 zodiac signs most compatible with Gemini in love, not just on paper, but in real life, real emotions, and real energetic exchange. These are the signs that do not fear Gemini's mind, do not resist Gemini's evolution, and do not try to cage Gemini's spirit. If you are a Gemini, this video may help you understand why certain relationships felt karmic, why others felt draining, and why some connections felt powerful but unfinished. And if you love a Gemini, this may finally reveal what their soul has been trying to communicate all along. So stay with me, because this message may be arriving at the exact moment you are ready to understand love from a higher perspective and to discover who can truly meet Gemini at the level it deserves. Gemini, the sign of the mind, communication, curiosity, and movement. Known for its brilliance, its charm, and its ability to adapt to any environment. Gemini is often admired for its intelligence and lightness. But behind this magnetic energy lies a deeper truth, a longing for connection that very few truly understand. Despite its playful nature and quick smile, Gemini does not connect easily in love. Many relationships fail not because Gemini cannot love, but because most signs cannot love Gemini in the way it truly needs. Gemini loves through the mind before the heart. It listens, observes, analyzes, and feels energy before emotion. It needs dialogue, mental stimulation, freedom, and presence. When these elements are missing, Gemini slowly disconnects. Not with drama, not with confrontation, just with silence and distance. Because when the mind no longer feels alive, the heart soon follows. So which zodiac signs can truly meet Gemini on this level? Which ones can stimulate its mind, respect its freedom, and still build emotional depth? Stay with me, because number 5 may completely change how you see Gemini in love. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Your energy strengthens this space and helps this message reach the right souls at the right time. The sign that understands Gemini's mind. This connection begins where most relationships fail, in the mind. Gemini does not fall in love through promises, routines, or emotional pressure. Gemini falls in love through conversation, curiosity, shared ideas, and mental freedom. And this sign understands that instinctively. From the very first interaction, there is no need to explain thoughts or translate feelings. Conversations flow effortlessly, moving from deep topics to light humor, from philosophy to laughter, from silence to insight. Gemini feels mentally seen, something rare, something sacred. This sign does not merely listen. It follows, expands, and challenges Gemini's ideas without trying to dominate them. What makes this bond so powerful is the absence of judgment. Gemini can change opinions, explore contradictions, and question everything, and instead of being criticized, it is encouraged. This sign understands that Gemini's shifting mind is not instability, but intelligence in motion. It knows that curiosity is Gemini's language of love. There is also a deep, unspoken respect for individuality. Gemini is never pressured to be one thing. There is space to evolve, to experiment, to grow. This sign does not demand emotional explanations every time Gemini retreats into thought. It understands that silence is sometimes a form of processing, not distance. Spiritually, this connection operates on a higher frequency. Both souls recognize each other as mirrors of awareness. There is a shared hunger to understand life, people, patterns, and meaning. Love becomes a journey of discovery rather than attachment. Gemini feels free, and paradoxically, this freedom deepens commitment instead of weakening it. Emotionally, this sign knows how to engage without suffocating. It does not chase when Gemini needs space, and it does not disappear when Gemini seeks closeness. There is balance, rhythm, and mutual respect. Gemini feels safe expressing both logic and emotion, knowing neither will be dismissed. Over time, this connection builds trust not through control, but through consistent presence. Gemini realizes this sign is not threatened by change, nor intimidated by intelligence. It does not try to slow Gemini down or anchor it unnaturally. Instead, it walks beside Gemini, step for step, thought for thought. This is why this sign holds a unique place in Gemini's heart. It understands that to love Gemini is not to possess it, but to explore the world together, mind to mind, soul to soul. And once Gemini experiences this level of mental connection, superficial bonds lose all meaning. Because when the mind feels truly understood, the heart opens effortlessly. The sign that respects Gemini's freedom. To love Gemini is to understand one essential truth. Freedom is not a threat to love. It is the foundation of it. Gemini does not resist commitment. It resists confinement. And this sign understands that instinctively, without the need for explanations. From the very beginning, this connection feels different. There are no silent expectations, no emotional traps, no unspoken rules designed to test loyalty. Gemini experiences something rare, permission to exist fully, to explore ideas, meet new people, change directions, and still be welcomed without suspicion or guilt. This sign understands that Gemini's need for space is not emotional distance. It is oxygen. When Gemini is allowed to breathe, it returns willingly, openly, and more deeply connected. Freedom does not weaken the bond. It strengthens it. Psychologically, this sign is secure within itself. It does not rely on control to feel loved. It understands that true intimacy cannot be forced. Because of this, Gemini never feels the urge to escape. There is no pressure to constantly prove devotion, no fear of being misunderstood for needing time alone or new stimulation. Spiritually, this connection is built on trust rather than attachment. This sign senses that Gemini's soul came into this life to experience, learn, and expand. Instead of anchoring Gemini to routine, it walks beside it through movement and change. Love becomes a shared journey, not a destination. Emotionally, there is a beautiful balance. When Gemini seeks closeness, this sign is present. When Gemini seeks distance, this sign does not take it personally. It understands rhythm, the natural ebb and flow of connection. This creates emotional safety because Gemini knows it will never be punished for being itself. Over time, Gemini realizes something powerful. It is choosing this connection freely, not staying out of obligation. And that choice creates a deeper loyalty than any demand ever could. This sign does not cage Gemini's spirit. It trusts it. That is why this bond feels light yet strong, flexible yet enduring. Gemini is never asked to shrink, slow down, or simplify its nature. Instead, it is celebrated. And in that freedom, Gemini discovers a rare truth. When love does not limit you, you willingly give it everything, because the heart stays where the soul feels free. The sign that balances logic and emotion. Gemini lives in the realm of thought. It analyzes, questions, rationalizes, and observes before allowing emotion to take the lead. This sign understands that, and instead of fighting it, it becomes the bridge between mind and heart. From the start, this connection feels grounding. Gemini is not pressured to feel more or open up faster. At the same time, it does not feel emotionally neglected. This sign knows when to engage Gemini intellectually and when to gently invite emotion into the space, without force or urgency. Psychologically, this balance is rare. Many signs either demand emotional intensity that overwhelms Gemini or remains so detached that the connection feels empty. This sign does neither. It respects Gemini's logic while honoring the emotional depth beneath it. It understands that Gemini often processes feelings by thinking first, and that this does not make those feelings any less real. Emotionally, this sign offers stability without rigidity. It does not dramatize Gemini's moments of detachment, nor does it ignore emotional needs. Instead, it creates a safe emotional environment where feelings can exist without chaos. Gemini feels supported, not judged. Understood, not analyzed. Spiritually, this connection aligns mind and heart. Gemini begins to trust that emotion does not mean loss of control. This sign teaches Gemini that vulnerability can coexist with clarity, and that love does not need to be confusing or overwhelming to be deep. Slowly, Gemini allows itself to feel more, not because it is asked to, but because it feels safe enough to do so. There is a strong sense of emotional intelligence in this bond. This sign knows when to speak and when silence is needed, when to ask questions, and when to simply be present. Gemini feels emotionally met without ever feeling emotionally cornered. Over time, this balance transforms Gemini. The mind remains active, curious, and free, but the heart becomes more open, more trusting, more grounded. Love stops feeling like a choice between logic and emotion. It becomes an integration of both. That is why this connection feels mature and lasting. There are no emotional games, no mental exhaustion, no constant need to explain or defend one's nature. Gemini feels whole, not divided between head and heart, but supported by both. Because when logic is respected and emotion is honored, love becomes clear, stable, and deeply fulfilling. The sign that embraces Gemini's duality. Gemini's duality is one of the most misunderstood forces in astrology. Often labeled as inconsistency or indecision, it is, in truth, the ability to perceive life from multiple perspectives at once. This sign understands that deeply, and instead of fearing Gemini's dual nature, it welcomes it. From the very beginning, Gemini feels no pressure to choose a single version of itself. There is space to be serious and playful, logical and emotional, social and introspective. This sign never asks, which one is the real you? It knows that all of them are. Psychologically, this acceptance creates an immediate sense of safety. Gemini is not forced to explain contradictions or justify changes in mood, interest, or direction. This sign understands that Gemini's mind moves quickly, absorbs information constantly, and evolves through contrast. What may appear as inconsistency is actually growth unfolding in real time. Emotionally, this connection is liberating. Gemini does not feel misunderstood or emotionally labeled. When Gemini shifts, this sign adapts without fear. It listens instead of reacting. It observes instead of assuming. This prevents unnecessary conflict and builds a bond rooted in awareness rather than expectation. Spiritually, this relationship operates on a higher level of consciousness. This sign recognizes duality as expansion, not confusion. It understands that Gemini's soul came into this world to integrate opposites, light and shadow, logic and intuition, movement and stillness. Instead of trying to stabilize Gemini by limiting it, this sign stabilizes the connection through understanding. There is also a deep emotional intelligence within this bond. This sign knows that Gemini's contradictions are not emotional games. They are expressions of a mind constantly exploring reality. Because of this, Gemini feels free to express its truth without fear of rejection or misunderstanding. Over time, Gemini experiences something rare: wholeness. The internal tension between its two sides begins to soften, not because one side disappears, but because both are fully accepted. This creates inner peace and opens the door to deeper emotional availability. This is why this connection feels transformative. Gemini no longer feels fragmented or pressured to simplify itself for love. Instead, it feels mirrored,
seen,
accepted in its full complexity. And once Gemini is loved in all its versions, it becomes deeply loyal to the one who made that possible. Because true love for Gemini is not about choosing one side, it is about being fully seen in all of them. The sign that matches Gemini's energy on a soul level. This connection is not logical. It is not planned. It is felt. From the very first moment, there is a sense of recognition, as if Gemini is not meeting someone new, but remembering someone familiar. The energy aligns naturally, without effort, without explanation. This sign does not try to understand Gemini only through words or behavior. It understands Gemini through vibration, presence, and intuition. There is a silent communication here that goes beyond conversation. Gemini feels energetically met, and that is rare. Psychologically, this bond feels effortless. There is no need to perform, impress, or constantly stimulate. Gemini can be fully alive and fully still, curious and calm, expressive and introspective. This sign moves at the same frequency, adjusting without resistance. There is no chasing and no distancing, only flow. Emotionally, this connection feels both safe and electric. Gemini feels inspired, energized, and emotionally open without fear. There is excitement without chaos, depth without heaviness. Love does not feel like effort. It feels like expansion. Spiritually, this is a soul-level alignment. This sign understands Gemini's mission of movement, learning, and transformation. It does not slow Gemini down, nor does it rush it forward. It simply walks beside it, matching pace, matching intention. Together, they grow, both individually and as a union. There is also a karmic quality to this connection. Gemini may feel that this person appears during a moment of transition or awakening. Conversations feel meaningful. Encounters feel intentional. Even silence carries understanding. This is not just love, it is resonance. Over time, Gemini realizes something powerful. It does not feel divided here. The mind is stimulated. The heart is open. The soul feels aligned. There is no inner conflict about staying or leaving. The desire to remain arises naturally. This is why this connection reshapes Gemini's standards forever. Once Gemini experiences love that flows on the same energetic wavelength, superficial attraction loses its power. Control loses its appeal. Confusion dissolves. Because when someone matches Gemini's energy on a soul level, love stops being a question and becomes a knowing. And that is the rarest compatibility of all. If this message reached you, it was not by chance. Nothing happens randomly when the universe decides to speak. If at any moment in this video you felt clarity, recognition, or a deep inner confirmation, acknowledge the reception of this message by writing 0707 in the comments. This number represents alignment, conscious connection, and the moment when understanding meets truth. And if this content resonated with your journey, subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell, and share this video with someone who may be seeking these answers right now. Your interaction strengthens the space, amplifies this message, and allows it to reach the souls who are ready to hear it. Stay connected. The universe is still speaking.